that the state of North Carolina is a breeding ground for humor?
Well, at least in the last few years, there have definitely been a lot of people who come out of North Carolina, or out of the South in general, I should say. Aziz Ansari is from South Carolina, Ed Holmes is from Atlanta. And there are a lot of, in the improv and stand-up community in New York, there are a lot of Southerners. And I love that. And I've never tried to investigate why, but I do think that people down here are very jovial and are interacting a lot, and in my family at least, always trying to make someone laugh. Like, my dad was in the hospital recently, and every nurse and doctor immediately fell in love with him because, you know what I mean? But so I wonder if performing might come from just all of the interaction that we have. There's not a solitary life down here, so maybe there's some connection there.
Yes. All right, question 2. How is writing this book similar or different for you than writing comedy?
Well, I can't do comedy in my pajamas, having not showered in 3 days, so that's one major difference. It took me a long time to learn to be sincere on the page, and that definitely happened through writing and not, obviously people don't really want you to be sincere on the stage with stand-up, although that's changing, I think, for the better. People, I think, want a connection, and that's finally reaching the stand-up world. But that was a hard lesson for me to learn to do, and I think I'm glad, because you have to show yourself and make yourself vulnerable, or why does anyone care? So that was a big difference for me between the two, and something that took me a long time to figure out how to do.
Neat. All right, third and final question.
No whammies. I just said that.
Of your debutante manners and know-how,
yes.
What was the hardest to give up, and what proved the most useful?
Well, the thing that proved the most useful is, and it's so twisted and sad and upsetting, but was going through sorority rush. Because it was such a horrific thing, and I never thought I would ever see that in life or have any way to use it. But as I wrote in the book, it turned out to be exactly like looking for a place to live on Craigslist, or looking for a place to live with someone else, because they all want you to come over and interview you, and you do all the same stupid small talk. And I, would try to please whoever I was meeting, which was, I never thought I would say that rush served a purpose for me later in life. But it turned out that it did. Yeah. The only difference was that when I found my roommate in New York, she did not make me chug a bottle of Boone's Farm that night that I moved in, which was kind of a bummer. And then, is that enough? Or you answer the second half of that question? That's probably enough. We're good.
Yeah. All right. That's perfect.
Yeah.